After 2 long years of blood, sweat and setbacks,
There is no way. That's f***ed.
it all came down to this.
God.
The final test for the R32 Skyline. Will it survive the road, or will it end up right back where we started? It's time to pick it up from the tuner shop. A movement I'm very familiar with. The car ended up making 368 kilowatts at the wheels, which for a 2-door Japanese tin can Skyline is ridiculous. For those Americans out there, that's pretty much 500 horsepower. Now once again, I want to say thanks to Dimmy and Dan at CPG for not only tuning the car, but also pointing me in the right direction when it came to the issues we had with its first dyno attempt. Now the car is still not perfect, there's still a few unfortunate huge problems, which I'll talk about in a second, but other than that, I am stoked. The Skyline is officially back. I'm so excited. It's crazy how far this car has come. I guess the only thing to do now is take it for a proper test drive.
That's the best dose I've ever heard, man. Crispiest dose in the bloodline, guys. 2 years ago, I bought this R32 Skyline with a blown up engine. And since then, we have gone down the biggest rabbit hole, and now it has a built RB25 Neo, which now makes 500 horsepower. Now, initially, I wanted to do this entire build on a budget, and we have installed a bunch of budget-friendly parts, but of course, that has entirely snowballed. Some of the necessary stuff that we couldn't go budget on was the oil pump gears. We've got billet oil pump gears. We've got a Bowden trigger kit, 1000cc injectors, wiring specialties harness, R35 coil packs, Pulsar turbo, and of course, managing all that boost is a Turbo Smart 50mm wastegate, and then all of the stuff, all the fabrication stuff that you are seeing is all, of course, Raceworks, baby. We also are running a Haltech Nexus R3 ECU. S3? I have to be corrected because this build has been done over such a long period of time, but we've had the car for a few days now, and my God, it is ridiculous. I guess the first thing is fill it up with ethanol and take it for a rip.
So I got the car back, we filled it up with E85 and then took it for a few pulls, but there's a vibration coming from underneath the car, so we're gonna see what's going on there.
We need to bring this thing back to the shop and chuck it back on the hoist because it still has a few problems. Like, I can still do pulls and all that, but it is vibrating like crazy. Like, the drivetrain, something's loose or something's not balanced right. It's held up on the dyno, so that's why I trust doing a few pulls in straight.
Before we take the Skyline for a drive, we need to talk about today's video sponsor, Carling. Now, as you guys know, I daily 2 European cars,
this Mercedes E63 and my BMW 335, and they always have problems. So one thing that I carry in both of these cars is this OBD2 scanner to help me diagnose issues on the fly. So to scan this car, all we need to do is find the OBD2 port, plug it in, and then you connect it to your phone via Bluetooth. Now you switch the ignition on, open up the Carly app, select your car, then connect to your car. We can now go to Diagnostics and then check for issues. Okay, we've got quite a few codes here, which is not surprising. It's an old car and it has been in an accident. Left-hand lamp, engine controller, instrument cluster, fuel pump control unit. God damn. Anyway, you can clear these so that you can see what's coming back, and I guess that is probably the thing that you need to fix. Now, on some cars, you can actually use this scanner to code in features that your car didn't come with from the dealer. For example, on my BMW, I was able to code the mirrors folding in when you lock the car, which didn't happen, of course, before I programmed that in with the Carly scanner. You can also use Smart Mechanic, which helps you further diagnose the issue from the engine code that you get. But this has been really handy. When my BMW left me stranded, I was able to plug it straight in and diagnose the issue and realized that it's a BMW and they suck. If you want to get this scanner, use my code right here or click the link in the description down below. There is a massive range of cars that you can use this scanner on to diagnose problems so that you can fix the car yourself or before you take it to a mechanic. Thank you, Carly, for sponsoring today's video. Let's take the Skyline for a rip.
The first thing that we're gonna do is check out that vibration issue that's coming from underneath the car, because it's quite concerning, and when you're doing a pull, something doesn't feel right.
Well, it's safe to say, I think I've found the vibration issue. There's the tail shaft. The center bearing, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like completely sagged. See that? Movement. That's not good. So our center bearing in the tail shaft is bad, which is definitely causing our vibration, I reckon. So tail shaft out, I guess. Now, luckily I anticipated this, so I've already ordered a aftermarket center bearing. Just unboxed it before. Looks like it should do the job. This is the brand, Hardy Spicer. Hopefully this fixes our vibration issue.
So the tail shaft has to come out because we need to replace this center bearing, and I've never done one of these before, so this is going to be new for me too. Fortunately, it's very easy to remove the tail shaft with the hoist, and by the looks of it, this tail shaft hasn't been touched in 30 years. It looks like the original tail shaft that was cut and modified for the RB25 gearbox swap, so we may as well give it a refresh anyway.
Next day now, we have the tail shaft on the workbench, and this is exactly what we need to replace. So haven't done one of these before, not too sure if I'm gonna need any special tools, but I've been advised to mark where everything is because this has probably been balanced at one point. So yeah, let's get this on the vise. Oh my God. Nice.
There's a lock nut holding the center bearing to the short part of the tail shaft, which we need to knock back, so I just used a screwdriver and a hammer, and then I was able to gun the nut off with the impact. Now I did need a special puller tool, which I've used in the past for harmonic balances on engines, and this made pulling the part of the tail shaft off very easy. I'm sure that you could do this with a hammer, but using the right tools is always the best option.
There we go. Bearing off, baby. So here's our new bearing versus the old bearing, which obviously I pulled apart and destroyed with the puller. But yeah, this rubber was separated anyway from the actual bearing itself. So that was definitely causing our vibration. Hopefully this one lasts. It's aftermarket, it's not OEM, but everything else looks the same. Oh, nice. Oh my god, that's tight. The center bearing support is now installed, whatever you want to call it. Have a look, it is all ready to go. There's a better look with the flashlight on, and there is no wiggle room whatsoever there. So we're all good, everything's tight, everything's marked. Let's see if we still get that vibration. Have you got time for a ride?
I go.
No!
Can't leave. I got shop open.
I was gonna take you for a rip.
Alright, we're gonna be quick.
Okay, quick one, around the block. Just around the block, that's it.
Alright.
Literally around the block.
Alright.
So that's Blake from Karuma Auto House, and he runs a dealership. If you want to buy some cars, hit him up. Look at this. Woo! Lots of nice cars here. Good.
Does it start or not?
Oh, come on!
Bro, it says come take it for a drive. It doesn't even start.
This is supposed to be like a quick 30-second. Nathan! Roll start!
What sort of starter motor is this? It's a Pekin starter motor.
Come on.
Who needs Dayco?
Tell me when, tell me when.
That's enough, surely.
Yeah, good.
Ready?
Yep.
Dump it.
There we go, alright.
There we go.
Still recording?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Let me close these gates. We're fine. Yeah, dead quiet.
Ready? Second gear. Actually, we'll go first gear.
I'll light them up.
What do you think?
It spins. Yeah, it's good.
It's got no grip.
Needs more traction. Jesus.
Definitely needs way more traction, but
Should be all pretty quiet through here. Should. Jesus. We got like 2 1.5s in the back?
I don't know what I've done in the back end. So the cheapest tire I could find.
We're doing well below the speed limit, don't worry.
Oh, 100%. Look, we're going zero.
Actually,
Show
I'm
them
going
that.
zero.
No,
We're going
zero.
0 k's an hour.
0 k's an hour.
Traction out of 1,000. That was good.
Bloody idle in it.
Good head, you know.
Oh, big flame, big flame.
Oh, horrible tires, man.
They're like China tires.
Yeah. That's all you need, man.
That's colours.
They do the job.
That's good. I like it.
Thanks, man.
Same as my one inside.
Oh, yeah. It just needs to be running, huh?
Oh, fuck.
That blew my freaking eardrums out. That was exceptionally loud that time on a limiter. That first gear bit was exceptionally loud.
I saw you go like that.
It was crazy. Let me do one.
This is my first time properly hearing the car sent, and Nathan is gonna give it a go.
See how this Nissan compares to my one. Holy crap! It feels exactly like my car. It's on ice.
Yeah, dude, I feel like the R chassis platform, oh my god, it's whining like crazy, is very similar to the S chassis.
It is very similar, like scarily similar, but this has a lot more low down power than my one.
there's another problem with the Skyline that I need to disclose, and it was caused by myself. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to put this car up on the hoist again eventually, but this is what happened.
So when Nathan and I installed the clutch, it was about 2 a.m. on a Wednesday or something like that, on a weekday. It was late and I forgot to put fluid in the gearbox. I knew that I would do that later at some time, but because we had to move the car all the way from the shop back to home to store it, and then back to the shop, I completely forgot to fill the gearbox up with oil.
So on the first dyno tune, the gearbox only had half the amount of fluid that it should have, and I only discovered this when I had the car up on the hoist for the first time after getting the car back, because I tried to do a fluid change and barely anything came out.
It's probably the most stupid thing you could do.
Yeah, it's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. Usually I'm pretty good at remembering that kind of stuff, but you know, I filled the engine up at least with oil, which is good. Engine's still good. That means we do need a new gearbox, and it sucks because I scored this gearbox from the first 32 Skyline that we got, and I got really lucky, and that actually had a 33 RB25 gearbox, which this now has, which unfortunately is now broken. So not only is timing belt sort of whining, the transmission is also whining, which makes this thing sound horrible just sitting at idle.
Still got a lot of work to do on the R32, but I am stoked that the car runs and drives under its own power, and it sounds incredible.
So, the R32 is now officially back. The only issue is we need to get a new box, and you guys probably noticed that the lip was hit. Unfortunately, it happened on the way to the tune and it needs to be resprayed, which sucks, but that's all good. We got a running and driving RB25 built motor, big turbo, lots of smiles, lots of money. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Catch you later.